as you can imagine, I mean, we've had Minority Leader Pelosi to the White House many times in the past, and Mr. Schumer as well. You have to do what's good for the country, and he's willing to do that. But again, if we're going to call for unity on the one hand, and the other hand, talk about incessant investigations, that I don't see where the appetite is there.
Well, let's talk about that, because there does seem to be an appetite for instance, the president's tax releases to be, tax returns to be released.
Respectfully, is this really what we're talking about today after we had historic gains in the Senate and some of the governorships?
Yes, because there will now be oversight that hasn't existed for the past 2 years.
Right, but
so there will be more oversight. And as you know, Democrats have long wanted there to be more oversight of this White House.
Well, I'm sure. Some of them, it seems to be all they talk about. But what do their voters think? What do their constituents think?
Well,
let me just say, the
last
time the Democrats did, let's just say, an extra investigation, it was during the Kavanaugh hearings, and the 4 Democratic senators who voted against Brett Kavanaugh all lost last night.
Kavanaugh does seem to have certainly
Manchin
gone
he was
in the direction of Republicans, for sure. But
it showed how ham-handed they were about an investigation.
Overreach is always, for sure.
Star power didn't matter last night. The places where President Obama went, the people he campaigned for, lost.
I hear you. Overreach certainly is a problem for various parties. But how does the president feel? I mean, that was where Jeff Zeleny ended in terms of, is there any anxiety in the White House about this new oversight task that Democrats will take up?
The president addressed this on Monday when he was on his 3-stop tour. All of the 3 of them won, by the way, last night. The people he was out for on Monday. He said the Democrats will do what they are going to do, and I'm going to do what I've always done, which is find a way to deal with it. And he'll do that. But that's not going to, if they want to bring Washington to a grinding halt, then they don't understand President Trump, because he's going to continue to want to do.
Let's just focus on the tax returns. They just want to see the tax returns.
You know what, Allison, respectfully, I'm not going to only focus on tax returns, because according to CNN's own polling, that's not what animated voters last night. I know you had a poll on October 22nd showing Gillum ahead by 12 points. That poll is a form of voter suppression. He's way ahead.
Fair.
He lost last night.
Here's the poll. Here's the poll on the tax returns. 68% of Americans believe that the president should have released them. He promised to release them. He said absolutely. I'm just saying that seems
so we're going back to 2016 now?
One of the first orders of business that I think that Democrats could easily do like that.
Well, they may
get
try.
The tax returns. Is the president at all nervous about that?
They may try. The president is not nervous about anything.
Okay.
I was with him all night last night, and again this morning he's going to address the nation. What he's very excited about is that his political engagement in these key races made history again. He defied the trends again. I think it bordered on adulation for some of these candidates for governorships in Florida and Georgia, and certainly Beto in Texas. It bordered on adulation. All the positive coverage, the profiling. I think some people also, it's not their business, they're not supposed to be partisans, really being, I think, very unkind and patently unfair to some of the opponents in those races. And the voters look past all of that. So I think they're going to look past all these investigations in large part, too.